Hello, and welcome to a new edition of FireWatch. This month on FireWatch, I will be introducing 3 of our newest battalion chiefs. These will be shift commanders for each shift, A, B, and C. Also, we will go out and look at some Christmas decorations to show you how you can make your Christmas a safe one this year. First, I would like to introduce 2 of the new battalion chiefs. I have Chief Chris Key to my left, and on the other side I have Chief Dean Fowler, and also I will be interviewing Chief Brian Alderson. So welcome to FireWatch again, guys. They've been on the show numerous times, so they're not strangers to us here in the fire department. Chiefs, may I call you chiefs? This is new for you guys. They've only been on the job probably about 4 or 5 days, so they're very new and they're very fresh. As you see, they have on their blue shirts, and they're going to be looking good coming up because we got them on order, and they will get new shirts, new badges, and the whole gear to serve as the new battalion chief commanders here in the fire department. So, Chief Key, so tell me a little bit about you and your background, and I know you have an extensive background, to both of you in the fire service, starting with the volunteers, and how did you get up to this point?
Like I said, my name's Chris Key. I'm the new battalion chief on B shift. I've served 26 years with the fire department, coming up through the ranks. Also served 9 years in the volunteers as a chief officer with the Brownsville Fire Department. So I've got quite a bit of extensive administrative training and learning along the way. Attended numerous classes at the Fire Academy to help bring me up to this level. Okay,
and Chief Key here, also Fowler here, they've been on my fire prevention team, so you've probably seen them out a lot around the community helping me with that. So that's near and dear to my heart, so I really would like to congratulate you guys on that position. Chief Fowler, how about yourself? What is your background?
Well, I started in the volunteer fire service when I was 16 years old, which has been a number of years ago. Actually started in 1980 in the volunteers, came to work with the city in 1987, been here 27 years. And as Chris said, came up through the ranks, had the opportunity to serve in all the different facets of the fire service, serve on the committees, got a lot of experience, and hopefully that'll give me some insight into this job to do a good job there.
Okay, and I know you guys, both of you, serve on some of our special teams here in the fire department. What teams are you serving on?
I served on the tactical rescue team, technical rescue team, and the hazmat team as well.
Okay, and Chief Key?
I served on the hazmat team the past 2 years as hazmat team leader for B shift.
Okay, so you guys are very busy in the fire department. We see you guys around on the special teams, fire prevention, pub ed, SOG committees. Y'all didn't throw that in there, but I know some of the things that you're doing. So now let's get a little bit more into your activities, your job, what you're going to be doing as a new BC. How about some of the roles that you will be playing?
Well, when we come in to start a shift, one of the primary concerns of the battalion chief is staffing. You know, we just like any other operation, we have folks that have medical emergencies, sick leave, and this type of stuff. We have to make sure that the apparatus is staffed so that we have people to respond at all 7 stations to cover the emergency calls for the day. Once that's done, then we document the personnel that's here and working so that their time is kept up with. Once that's done, then we start the operation and try to do informational for all the stations to let them know what today is going to hold, any special circumstances are coming up, be it a fire prevention program at a school or a standby for some type of operation. It may be something that the utilities department is doing, entering a vault in the ground, that we have to have people on standby, and just to make sure they're informed there. And then I think Chief Key's going to give you a little background into our responsibilities at a fire scene.
Okay, Chief, let's talk about the fires. That's what we do.
Well, as the battalion chief, we'll be the one in charge at fire scenes. We respond to all structure fires, so we'll be the one in charge, making sure everything's going right, keeping all our firefighters safe, making sure we do the attacks right, whether it's offensive or defensive. And plus, we also have to continue to monitor the rest of the city to make sure we have adequate staffing and adequate response should anything else happen while we're at that incident.
Okay. Now, as you know, on previous shows, we showed Chief Ferguson and Shields and a couple of them that retired, and we've just lost over 114 years of service. And so you guys have some big shoes to fill. What can you bring to this position to help the fire department to grow? We're trying to do things here. We got a brand new facility here, and we're looking to move forward. And Chief Eagle chose you guys to help us to move forward in this division.
Shelby, one thing that we've all committed to is we want to bring cohesiveness between the shifts. We want to pull the department together tighter than it's ever been, and have the brotherhood that much stronger. In turn, we hope that will give the community a better level of service, because the guys are happy in what they're doing and are committed to what they're doing, even more so than they are now.
Okay, Chief Key?
Being able to provide the pride, the honor, and the dedication to the job. You know, the firefighters taking pride in their equipment, you know, I mean, showing up for work and doing a great job is what's expected of us. So providing the customer service out there for the community is going to be a lot of it.
Okay, so you guys have at least more than 25, 26 years of service here. What do you recommend for new firefighters coming in, the ones that want to come in and be promoted to engineer, lieutenant, captain, and one day fill your shoes? What can you say to them right now?
Come in, stay committed to their training, and get all the education they can, and more or less be like a sponge. Take in everything they can. Don't come in with the attitude that I know it. Come in with the attitude I want to know it, and truly work at that.
Very good.
Train, train, and never stop training. When you stop training, that's when you're going to stop learning, and that's when you're going to get yourself hurt. If you're training every day, learning something new, you're doing what you need to do for this community.
Okay, you guys have some very, very good advice and important advice. You know, time passes by pretty quick now, so we have a new group of firefighters. We're going to be hiring soon for another 4 or 5 firefighters coming in. So it's good to have you guys on, your experience, and I'm looking forward to working with the both of you.
Thank you, Shelby.
Chief Alderson, welcome to FireWatch. Chief Alderson has been a guest on FireWatch on many occasions. So he's in a new position now, and we're going to see what he's doing today as shift commander for the A shift. Chief Alderson, how about introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about you?
Howdy, my name is Brian Alderson, and I've been with the fire department now for 26 years. I worked my way up through the ranks. I was a firefighter for 12. I was an engineer, a driver for 3, lieutenant for 7 years, captain for 4 years, and now I'm in this position.
Okay, you have a background with the Danville Life-Saving Crew, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and you've served as captain, I think,
That
in the
is
crew?
correct. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so you've got a lot of experience in commanding and things like that, I see.
Yes, that is correct.
Now, I've talked to the other fellows about what they're doing. Tell me some of the important aspects of this job as the battalion chief on shift.
Sure. I think one of the most important aspects is actually cohesiveness between the 3 shifts, making sure that what happens on A shift, B shift, and C shift are very similar, if not the same, and that if somebody has to move from one shift to another or the way the operations work, they're the same no matter which shift you're on. I think that's very important for the personnel. It's also good for the city.
Yeah, you're right. You know, you guys work a different schedule than anybody else in the country, I think, and that cohesiveness really works because A shift don't want to go repeat B shift or C shift, then another job has not been done. So that coordination is very important.
It really is. It really is. Doubling up work, nobody likes to do that, and it's definitely, we have enough going on here. We don't need to be doubling up or covering somebody else's position.
Yeah, and you know, I asked the other guys about, you know, we just lost over 114 years of service here in the fire department, and each one of you has an extensive background in the fire service with volunteers in the volunteer department or the life-saving crew. What's something new that you're looking forward to bringing into, we got a new station, got a lot of new things around here into the city?
Well, I think that obviously with a lot of changes with the new station and with us, and I think maybe we can bring a little bit of a fresh perspective that the 21st century, more updates, more, we'll be very strong into training. That's a big part. That's how all of us got here, was because of the amount of training we've done. So I think bringing that to the department and really pushing that will be beneficial.
Okay, so when I just mentioned about all the years of service, now we have a lot of young firefighters out there. We're getting ready to start hiring new firefighters. What's some that you can, you know, say to the young guys out there to help them progress in their career to maybe one day become a battalion chief?
Well, like I said, training is extraordinarily important, and also I think that education, along with the training classes, but education, college, The majority of our department has college, and we have a lot of folks that have bachelor's degrees, and I think the younger men and women in this department should definitely look towards a bachelor's degree at the very least.
Yeah, and so it's each one of you talked about training in school. So in the fire department, we get it out there. We go to career fairs with elementary children a lot, and we say you're gonna have to like school to like to be in the fire department because we train and go to school in order to keep our credentials up.
That's exactly correct, and we do push that with our public education events, and hopefully it sticks. Hopefully they actually pay attention to that.
Well, I know they do. It's been proven here in the city. We've had a lot of success with the children and the adults here in the city with our prevention efforts. Well, Chief Alderson, I'll let you get back to work because I know you got a busy day ahead of you, and thanks for being with us on FireWatch.
Thank you very much.
You can be a hero by being prepared for an emergency. First, make a plan. Call a family meeting to plan for things like how to connect with loved ones after an emergency.
There.
Or your escape route.
I am not fast.
Build a kit. When disaster strikes, it's important to have enough supplies to last 3 days. And don't forget the batteries.
Low battery.
Number 3, know the facts. From blackouts to floods, no matter the emergency, the more you know about it, the better you can deal with it.
You're gonna need some upgrades.
Number 4, get involved. Lend a hand in your community to help others know their role in an emergency.
You guys, do you feel this? We're gonna be heroes!
You can be a hero by being prepared.
Yes!
Visit ready.gov/kids for more preparedness tips.
Welcome back to FireWatch. Now we've moved over and made our way over to one of our stores here in the city of Danville, and I have here with me my assistant, Richard Gwill, and we're going to talk about some holiday safety. Lots of decorations are starting to go up now. People are starting to heat their homes a little bit. So Richard's going to give us some information on some safety decorations and how we should put it up around our homes and our trees. Welcome to FireWatch again, Richie.
Thank you.
Okay, Richie, now we've got a whole lot of decoration here in the store. So let's start off with some of the extension cords that we see here. We talk about those a lot because they are a big contributor to fires. Not only during the holidays, we see this all year long with the improper use of them.
Right, and we talk about using drop cords that are too small for the power that we're trying to run through them, and that's what causes it to heat up, the cord to break down and actually catch on fire. You have a short somewhere within the electrical appliance you're trying to use. And we see this typically with small cords. This is a small cord. It's designed to run only maybe a lamp or something small to that nature. It's not designed to run 15 strands of Christmas lights and a heater as well. It just won't work. So this is the type of drop cords that we talk about. Is don't put many things on those and try to run a lot of electricity through them. You want to use a cord that's thicker and is able to be able to handle the load. Here we have this a little bit thicker cord. It will handle more of a load, and you can see this is a 16 gauge, and that usually tells you the difference in how thick the actual wire is inside of it. Obviously, the thicker, the bigger the wire, the more that you'll be able to run through it. But these are indoor cords,
Okay.
and that's a mistake that we see people use. People using the indoor cords on the outside of the house, out in the weather, and they're not protected against rain and ice and snow, the things we get around the Christmas season, and that causes these to short out and catch on fire. We've seen that as well. So we'll make sure that you do use a heavy-duty outdoor drop cord, and here we have one that's made for the outdoor. You can see that it's green, and it has the PVC over it that's going to protect it, but you still have to be careful where you're plugging these things in. If you use an outdoor drop cord and then you plug a smaller indoor drop cord into it, you create the same danger again. So just make sure that whatever you plug in here is rated for outdoors as well, so that you don't have that mixture and then you still have the problem that you come up with. A lot of people use spotlights to shine on their house. and they actually make a spotlight made for the outdoors. It has a seal on it. It's a rubber seal, keeps the water from getting inside and keeping that from shorting out. We see people use just a shop light or whatever, and those break when the water hits them, or they either short out as well. So that's a problem we have with the lights during the holiday season as well. They do make all kinds of different things. They even make things that the people that are don't want to go out and have to unplug the lights. They make them to where you can plug those in and you can turn them off and on by a switch, just like a key remote for your car. So they make all kinds of, they make them indoor and outdoor. That was an indoor version. This is an outdoor version. Kind of looks like your key on your car. You can turn your lights off. That way you don't have to go outside in the rain, turn them on and off. Anything to make it easier for you to where you don't use too many. A lot of people make the drop cords really long so they can put them right next to the door so they can unplug them so you don't have to go out when it's cold. So that's an option there, so you are able to do that as well.
Okay. Now, Richie, I investigated a fire where the lady had a fire in her yard, and she didn't even know it. She just noticed that her decoration wouldn't light up, and she asked me to come over and look at it. And she had this indoor plugged into this outdoor, and had a long strand of lights. Also, she had the animated deer and the Santa Claus. She had a lot of things going into here. She had another adapter on this one to make even more. So she actually had a mess in her yard, and then I showed her some spot fires in the yard, and you can see here the black from the burning. She was very fortunate that it didn't go all the way up to her door. So I spoke with her about making it safer and just using this inside the house and using the other type on the outside to keep her home from safe. And we do see that often in the city where someone plug in a tremendous amount of cords and they start having it'll short out. Then they'll plug it back in and it'll short out. And that's what happened there. And she continued until it caught on fire.
Right.
So just have to be aware of not making this connection. If we can take this apart, you never want to do that. Just like that.
Right.
Let this stay inside on your clock, your calculator, or a lamp, something small, and go for the heavy-duty type equipment. And again and again and again, we like to talk about eliminating your usage of electric cords. Now, Richard, we've got our cords that we're going to use. We're going to try not to use very many of them, but we know we have to. So now let's go look at some lights put on our tree.
Okay. Lights, people like a lot of lights. Whether you like them clear or color or a mixture or whatever, people like to use a lot of lights, whether they're on their tree, on the wreaths, or either on the bushes in the yard or hanging on the house. So they got different types of lights to use. Now, if you have lights that you've had since you were a child, they're probably out of date. They may still work, but they're not energy efficient, and then they heat up a lot and they get hot, which causes a danger, especially if you're using a real Christmas tree, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But we don't want those lights that are going to pull a lot of power. They're going to heat up. So the lights that they have now that's available on the market don't get as hot. They won't burn your hands if they stay on a long time. They even have LED lights. Now the LED lights are great because they don't heat up at all. They're cool to touch. You can reach up. These have been on all day. You can reach up and touch them, and I feel no heat at all on those. And another good thing is they save you energy. They save your electric bill. So if you do like to put a lot of lights up, they're not pulling a lot on your electric bill, and you're going to have to pay that extra in January when you're trying to pay off Christmas as well. So LEDs are a good option if you're going to replace your lights, if you just use the other type of lights. LED lights allow you to plug more of them together in a strand. With your conventional lights, we limit those to only 3 strands. Okay. So we're talking 300 lights. We don't want to put no more than that on those. But if we're talking about LED, you can go up. If you look on the box, it'll tell you how many of those that you can plug end to end. Now remember, that doesn't mean plugged end to end in one little section of that extension cord. That means the total on that one outlet. So you don't want to put, if it says you can put 5 strands, you don't want to put 5 strands for each little outlet on that drop cord, because you're kind of defeating the purpose then. Nice. So you only want those five strands. So the LED lights work. whether you like the nostalgic looking lights that they have, they even have those in LED now. That allows you to have the look of the old lights that you may have grown up with, but they still operate with LED. And they have all kinds of different versions of those.
Yeah, this is my favorite light. I remember growing up, we having these big lights, and I can remember being burned as a child, with those. And this is great. There's something about that type light that I like. Now, Richie, we're going to have to attach these lights. And,
right.
We've seen not only at Christmas, at other times where people will just staple these cords.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Well, like you said, it's not only at Christmas. Some people leave these lights up for decorations all year round with the white on their porches. And what we see people was using staple guns. It was just a cheap, convenient, easy way to just staple the wires to the porch or whatever, and then they would go back and pull them off. But the problem is when you do that, you pinch the wire, and then you're adding a piece of metal in between those two, and may cause a short. We've seen shorts of wire not only on Christmas lights, but in house wiring. We've seen that happen as well. So we don't want to staple any wires. They make clips now that hook directly to the side of your house. They make them that hook onto the gutter. They make them to where they'll hook almost anywhere on the outside of your house and on the inside of your house. If you want to hang them up anywhere, they make the strips that will stick to the wall, then they'll pull back off with no damage. So we want to make sure we don't staple any of the wires anywhere that we're trying to run these.
Yeah, Richie, during our inspection sometimes, we go into places and we see this. We will talk to the managers or owners or wherever we're going about some safety. Sometimes I may be just going to pay, an insurance bill or something else. And if I see something, because a lot of times people in the holiday spirit and they forget about little things. So it's just, if you see something, say something.
Right. And then we get the people that try to outdo their neighbor. And the neighbor puts a display in the yard and they're going to put one bigger, and then next thing you know, you've got people collecting money to help them pay the power bill because it's so big. So just be smart about what you put in your yard. Remember that you are pulling that power from your house, and you don't want to overload your electrical system in your house as well.
Okay. Now another thing, Richie, I'm really enjoying looking at all this decoration and stuff. The bulbs on the tree. A lot of people like changing colors. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're buying this year for next year colors. The shatterproof bulbs. If you drop one on the floor and it, little pieces of glass, and
right.
Christmas morning kids are running around with no shoes on, and you may not get it all up with your vacuum.
Right. Nowadays, most everything is made with plastic. If we have bulbs that we had when we were kids or whatever, and you were using, those are all made of glass. But now they're made of plastic. They're shatter resistant, and actually protects you and your children to keep from getting cut. Because you know how they'll fall off the tree, or either someone get excited on Christmas morning, may step on one or whatever. So yeah, that's a good option too to keep us safe as well, as these shatterproof bulbs.
All right, now we've looked at a bunch of lights, and we got our hooks, and let's talk about what type of lights other than the LED cool lights. What's some other safety you want to look for?
You want to make sure that your lights have been tested by a testing agency such as the UL. Make sure that it has that listing on it. That lets you know that product has been through a series of testing and know it's safe to use inside of your house. We did have a problem here within the city one year to where some of the products being sold, they were a little bit cheaper. People could buy them a little bit cheaper and get more of, for their money. But obviously they started having problems with them, and then we started doing a little investigating, and we found that these products weren't tested by any agency, and they were having problems with them. They were catching on fire, they were shorting out, and then we had to go back to when we found where it was selling them, and we actually had them stop selling those because it was a fire hazard for our residents here in the city. So make sure if you're going to buy something that it is some type of testing agency such as UL that has certified that product.
Richard, they have a beautiful display of the poinsettias here, and we know that that can be a poisonous plant. Can you tell us a little bit about safety with those?
Yeah, just anything that you have inside of your house. So you have small children or pets or whatever, and you're bringing these inside of your house. Make sure that they're out of the way, that they can't get them and break them off, put them in their mouth, or your pet chew on them. So you just want to make sure that you're smart where you put these plants or anything else that you bring inside of your house for the holidays, and make sure that you're smart with where you put them.
Okay, very good. I know that you know, kids are so excited around this time of year, and they want to put their hands on everything. So you know, it's Pat not used to seeing all this activity, so we want to watch out for them as well.
Right.
Okay. We've made our way outside of the store here. So we've been inside. We've got our electrical cords, we got our lights, we've got our poinsettias, our bulbs, decorations, we got everything. Now it's time to decorate the tree. So Richie, tell me something safe I need to look at when I buy my tree.
If you're getting ready to buy a fresh tree, you want to make sure, obviously, it hasn't dried out, because you don't know when that tree was cut. So you want to make sure that you do something to test the needles on it. And if you take your hand and run it up the branches, and it shouldn't all fall off. They should stick on there. It should spring back. You should be able to feel that it's not dry, and that you know that you're getting a fresh tree. Because, like I say, you don't know when those trees have been cut. They may have been cut weeks before that you decide to buy them. So you want to be smart and make sure that your tree hadn't dried out before you even get it home. When you buy your tree, they should cut it again, because you got the original cut from where they cut it on the farm. So you want it cut again, so that way those pores are open in the wood and they can absorb the water up into the branches and feed your tree with some water to keep it from being dried out, because a dry Christmas tree is very dangerous, very dangerous. It burns up really quickly, and we don't want that torch inside of our house. So we want it to make sure that it does have some moisture in it. So make sure when you get ready to buy it, you do those checks and make sure that they cut it again. And so you're getting that area that they can absorb the water.
Yeah, Richard, proper placement too. You don't want to put it near a heat source, your fireplace or something like that.
Right. You don't want it near your fireplace, obviously. You don't want it with a heat duct from your furnace or whatever right beside of it, to where it's blowing that hot air onto your tree at all times, because you're just drying it out. It's like taking a piece of lumber to the lumber mill and they're drying it out in their kiln. So you want to make sure that you keep it away from any type of heat source as well.
Okay, well, Richie, I think we got our decorations and everything's going to be safe for us this year. And I enjoyed you coming on FireWatch with me, talking to our viewers about having a safe holiday season. So until next time, we wish you and yours a very happy, safe holiday, and we'll see you later.
Hi.